Sponsored by Bangja, Sustainable Business Development in Harmony with the Environment and Society.
Given the various economic situations unfolding around the world, where the traditional market is facing debt crisis in Europe as well as sluggish economies in the United States and Japan, the region that remains vibrant and emerges as a key economic growth and engine points to Asia, in particular China and ASEAN.
Realizing the Look East economic trend, Hong Kong is increasing its investment in Southeast Asia under the China-ASEAN Free Trade Framework Agreement.
In a globalized world, the business platform no longer ends between the engagement of two countries as they become a springboard for companies to venture into a wider market base in a third-party country. Noticing the increasing Southeast Asian or the Look East investment trend, Hong Kong, Asia's financial hub, thrives to become a crucial gateway to access China's dynamic market as well as in the Asia-Pacific. Can you give us like a rough picture of Hong Kong's economy right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Hong Kong economy grew at 5% last year. So GDP growth 5% last year, and this year we are expecting a slower growth at 1.2 for reasons of the global economic climate in the EU and the United States. But we are actually seeing a shift eastward in terms of the growth engine to Asia, and in particular China and ASEAN. And I think that's one of the reasons why now we are seeing the Hong Kong business community returning to Southeast Asia.
So now that we've touched upon the ASEAN region and China-ASEAN aspects, what role does Hong Kong come into play in that area?
Right. Hong Kong is primarily a service economy. 93% of our economy is services. So we perform a very important role in providing services to facilitate trade and investment in the region. The four core services industry in Hong Kong are trading and logistics. One quarter of the economy trading logistics, and then about 16.8% financial services, and another 14% on business and professional services, and the rest are tourism. So, so that altogether comprises about 50% of our GDP, and that actually tells the strength of Hong Kong in providing services to the surrounding region, in helping to bring up the investment volume from mainland China into ASEAN, as well as the other way around, from ASEAN via Hong Kong into mainland China. In Hong Kong, we are actually seeing companies using Hong Kong as a base to market their brand, to promote their products. A very good example is the recent stock listing, IPO of Prada. Actually, the purpose of the IPO is to raise their profile in mainland China through listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, in order that the whole China market will know about the product, and that actually works very well.
Right.
And we are seeing more and more of that happening. Last year, we got 42 million visitors into Hong Kong. Bearing in mind that we've only got 7 million people. So out of it, 14 million are from outside of Hong Kong, outside of China, and the other 28 million from mainland China. So we are actually seeing mainland tourists coming to Hong Kong. They will eat. They will try to see what Hong Kong people eat, what Hong Kong people buy, and how we entertain ourselves. And that actually will bring back they'll bring it back to the hometown. And so if you have a strong hold in Hong Kong, if your product and services are good in Hong Kong, then they will know about it, and it will be easier for you to venture into the China market.
So it's like opening a bigger door, exposing it to a bigger market.
Indeed, indeed. Actually, alone, the Greater Pearl River Delta region alone, you're talking about close to 100 million people. So if you add it together, it's already huge for any standard. Yes, so we are actually seeing, for example, from Thailand, last year we received 480,000 visitors from Thailand to Hong Kong. And vice versa, we've got 420,000 Hong Kong visitors into China, into Thailand. So that also explains the two-way traffic, people traffic between Hong Kong and Thailand. And of course, there's a lot of business visitors right there, and we are also seeing a growth trend in that area.
So, Mr. Fong, you are the director of the Hong Kong Economics and Trade Office,
Yes.
specializing for ASEAN. Can you tell us a bit about the relations between China and ASEAN, the bilateral relations?
Right. Hong Kong and Thailand relations dated years back.
Right.
So if you're talking about four decades ago, most of the Hong Kong's factories are actually in Southeast Asia, and most of them in Thailand. But since China opened up 3 decades ago, in the late 70s, then we start to see factories moving into mainland China. But in the last 10 years or so, we are seeing a reverse trend, and these manufacturing bases are returning to Southeast Asia, including Thailand. And because of that, we are seeing a surge of investment from Hong Kong into the region as well. And there is a significant increase in trade between Hong Kong and ASEAN too. That is set against the background of the implementation of the China-ASEAN FTA, Free Trade Area. So we are definitely seeing an increase and in strengthening of the bilateral relations between Hong Kong and Thailand, and between Hong Kong and ASEAN as well.
Right.
And that's also part of the reason why now Hong Kong is actively seeking to join the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area, in order that we could play an even more significant role in the development of the whole region.
Talking about the future projects that Hong Kong will be involved in the future within the tourism sector. Just now you mentioned about the cruise project.
The cruise terminal.
Yeah.
Hong Kong will be building a new cruise terminal which could entertain 2 of the world's biggest cruise berthing at the same time. We'll be talking about receiving more than 10,000 passengers at one time. So that is very, very exciting. And we are now working on cooperation with other cruise destinations in the region, including Thailand. And we hope to make a regional multi-destination cruise package for our visitors from around the world. And so we do want to bring visitors from other parts of the world into the region, and then they can tour around. And that will be a huge opportunities especially for the tourism sectors here.
What remains to be the challenges between the investment between China, Hong Kong, and ASEAN as a whole?
Connectivity. I think the thing which we are now working on, and we know that ASEAN is working on, is how to connect the whole ASEAN economic community together. So there's a plan by 2015, the AEC would happen. But the physical, both the hardware and the software connectivity has yet to be completed. Both the railway and the highways, and also the software infrastructure in terms of custom clearance, in terms of free movement of goods and people in the region. So these are some of the things that we will need to work on in order to ensure an efficient and effective marketplace for Hong Kong and for China and for the region to work together.
Under the China-ASEAN Free Trade Framework, trade value between Hong Kong and ASEAN in 2011 was $93 billion, an 11% surge from the year 2010. Thailand has become the top trading partner, and Singapore was the second within the ASEAN region.
But the question now is, why is the right time and right place to invest in Hong Kong during this time around? And how effective is the synergy gateway between Thailand and Hong Kong for both to expand the proximity of their foreign ventures? We'll be back after the break.
So China has a very big need. Every company are buying something from China or selling something to China. Well, you know, Hong Kong is one of the very easiest place to set up a business. It's very safe, and it takes only $1 Hong Kong minimum to incorporate a business, to set up a business.